you did some interesting research here regarding mask wearing, compliance, and traveling. Some people, a little worried about traveling for the holidays this year, understandably. For those who do travel and they are seated next to somebody who's not complying, not wearing a mask, what can they do?
Well, you're absolutely right. This is happening much more often now. We're in the middle of, we've been in a pandemic for many months, and we have pandemic fatigue. So a lot of people just either don't want to wear a mask, they're tired of wearing a mask, their mask doesn't fit right, and so they are not wearing a mask properly or at all on a plane. And what people are doing as well is taking matters into their own hands, and they're telling the seatmate next to them that they have to wear a mask, and it's turning into a very unpleasant confrontation. You've probably seen the videos that have been circulating around where people are being hauled off a plane and the other passengers are applauding. So it's getting a lot worse. People don't want to wear their masks, and people don't know what to do when they're seated next to someone who is wearing a mask, who is not wearing a mask, I should say.
So what should we do? How can we handle the situation and not create too much confrontation?
Yeah, well, one of the things is that you don't want to have a direct confrontation with the person next to you. So when there is an announcement that's made and you find that the person next to you is either not wearing a mask properly or at all, you can say something like, do you plan to follow the guidelines that the crew has just given? So make it about the rules and not about you and not about the person next to you. And that way it kind of takes some of the edge off the fact that the person is, or takes some of the confrontational, takes some of the confrontation out of that and puts it on, shifts that burden over onto the actual rule itself. So that would be the first thing that the etiquette experts tell me to do, is make it about the rule, not about the person who is not following that rule.
And then if that doesn't work, where do you go from here?
Okay, the next thing that you want to do is discreetly talk to a member of the flight crew and see if you can be moved, because you don't want to be caught in the middle of a confrontation yourself. And if there's an empty seat somewhere else, then you want to go and find that empty seat and be seated there. Let the crew deal with the person who refuses to mask up in their own way. They've been trained to do that. You haven't, so let them do that. Confrontations they can be very painful and very expensive. Painful as in you could get hit by someone or worse, and expensive as in they could have to turn the plane around and land it, do an emergency landing. You really don't want that. The flight crew has been trained to deal with mask-related issues. So they have had, they've gone through the training, they know what to do. Leave it to them if you can. Don't take matters into your own hands. That would be the main takeaway, is don't take matters into your own hands.